percent off Truck Stop Load Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With LogRock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? Come on in, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. If you are in the trucking business, semi-truck, box truck, cargo van, gigging, and you need commercial insurance for your business, there's a link in the description below for LogRock. Up for renewal, looking for a cheaper insurance solution, that link is in the description for you as well. Make sure you guys click that link in the description for LogRock for the best affordable insurance rate. LogRock is the sponsor of this channel. Come on in, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Shout out to HCP Picks Live. What's up? Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to all the moderators in the building. Shout out to Kelvin Burke. Shout out to everybody as part of the MGM gang. What's going on? Shout out to G Styles Unlimited, MGM gang member. What's up? Shout out to Roger Lacey, MGM gang member. What's up? Shout out to Alfonso. What's going 203 in the building. Checking in from Connecticut. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. We're going to change some things around. We're going to do some new branding ideas, a lot of changes you'll see coming up. Let me pop that up. We're going to turn this afternoon show into an official podcast for branding purposes. So it's kind of not all over the place. So I can streamline all this stuff into one folder, a podcast folder on YouTube. That way these afternoon things are streamlined. So this is probably the best way to do it. Just brand it as an official podcast. Obviously the subtitle, Real Game, Real Business, Real Accountability, because that's what it is. We talk about trucking, we talk box trucking, cargo van, gigs, and then there's just some mindset things in there too. It all comes together. As it pertains to business. So we just want to pull this all together and streamline it. Also, what I'm going to do is some days, it may be every day, and I got this idea from Sage. He kind of really pushed me into this direction. We're going to do a call-in line. It's not going to be like the call-in show where you got to click the link and come up on camera. I got a dedicated number for the channel that I'm going to put up later on in the show. I'll open up the lines, and then I'll give people a few minutes to come up and discuss the topic at hand. It's not for, to get free game and free coaching. This is not for that. That's the call-in show. When I open up the lines, it's going to be strictly pertaining to the topic at hand. And what I'm going to do is I'll open up the lines. So I'll pop the number on the screen. You guys can call the line using your phone number, however you want to do it. So obviously you won't be on the screen. So it's not that type of calling. It'll actually be you'll be calling in, and then you'll be broadcasting your voice over. So we're going to implement that. We'll test that out a little bit later on in this show. What else? I've seen the comments. Some people have left comments as far as just the set, as far as, but I mean, everything is just still being set up. There's still stuff coming in. And then I'm setting this stuff up. I'm not like a production major. So somebody left a comment and said, man, I appreciate the game, blah, blah, blah. But one of your cameras, the lighting is a little bit different. It's not as sharp as your main. I trust me, I see all that. I'm Every time I do a live stream, I watch it to see what needs to be changed. Do I need to move a light? Do I need to add more lights? Do I need to move this? Do I need to move that? Do I need to pan this? Do I need to pan that? So this is still all a work in progress. So you have to be patient. Somebody else said, Mark, I like the show, I like all the game, but man, I don't like the sound bites. Look, man, look, check this out. And I appreciate the comment, and I'm not finna go in, but let me explain something to you. This ain't a channel, this is box trucking. All right. This ain't Red Pill, this ain't Kendra G, this ain't the lead attorney, this ain't the angry man, this ain't Pearl, this ain't Anton. All those different niches that I just named, and there's plenty more. This ain't Pat McAfee, this ain't all those niches that are entertainment. Those channels are funded by their community. And I haven't seen not one creator in this space, and there's not many of us, that has been funded by the community. Now, although I appreciate the super chats, but when I say that, I look at like Kevin Samuels and all these channels, their shows are funded by the community. So me putting my money into all this stuff out of my pocket, if I want to push some buttons, I'm going to push some buttons. If I push some buttons to, be humorous, because I think that came from the video the other day where I was going back and forth with the guy, and I was using the buttons for the satire and the humor of it. I try to make the show entertaining, because if we sit here and just talk about business and we talk about mindset, it'll be boring. And I other content creators out there in this space, and they just talk monotone. It gets boring. I used to be bored until I had to learn how to effectively draw in an audience and keep them there. See, you can get people to click, but new people that's clicking on, you got to keep them here. And if you just spit, so today Amazon Relay, or man, OTR, or then we do this, that. Man, that shit boring. Shit is boring. It's boring to me. It's boring to the viewer. It's boring to the person creating it. So here's the thing: if I want to push buttons, I'm gonna push buttons. When you see me laughing and cracking jokes, it's because it's funny, because I'm making it humorous. I'm like it's still got to be an entertaining aspect to it. Doing the cameras and switching cameras and all that stuff, this is a part of building out the production. It shows you, the audience, that I'm putting forth an effort as well. I could go sit in my car and just, like most of these guys, and just turn the camera on. So, man, if I want to punch buttons, and I appreciate the comment, but punching these buttons ain't free. And I'm funding it. So although I appreciate, I just, I'm going to push buttons. If I want to hit the button, I'm going to hit the button. All right. All right. So, just, be cool. Enjoy the show and just chill out. It's not that serious, man. Damn. I always got some input for some shit, bro. All right, man. But let's get this show on the road, man. Also, man, to the guys that are out there, please don't get sent off. Every year is somebody that comes crying to me, Black Wednesday or Thanksgiving, they'll find their way into my Discord or some shit like that, saying they stranded. Listen, don't let a broker send you off. Last year was literally a guy crying because he got sent off to Montana. Like, why would you go to Montana 2 days before Thanksgiving? And the broker promised him that he had a load for him coming out of Thanksgiving, Black Wednesday, Thanksgiving morning. Got there, broker sent him off. He deadheaded all the way from Montana back to North Carolina. His whole Thanksgiving was spent driving deadheading. And guess what? He was a new driver. He was on the new. And that was the end. Like, his box truck journey was short-lived. I think that was his second or third load. And after that, the cost that he assumed, deadheading back from Montana, all Thanksgiving, all that fuel, that wiped him out. And he was in an enterprise rental. It was over with after that. He was done. That was enough to put them out of business. All right. So those guys that are on the new, don't be sent off, man, and be stranded at a truck stop. Shout out to who was that? Shout out to Drew's World. Appreciate that super chat.
Sweet.
Appreciate that super chat. All right, come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. All right, so once again, we're gonna open up the lines a little bit later on in the show where you call in. I'll pop that number on the screen, and whoever want to call in and give their input based on the topic that we finna talk about, feel free. All right, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notification. All right, so man, let's have this talk, man, because today is Tuesday. Thanksgiving is 2 days away, and this is something I kind of alluded to one of these live streams the other day, where when I first started creating this content in 2022, this was a time where this little sector of content creation was on fire. It was on fire anyway, but this time period was on fire based on what had happened the previous year. I started creating in 2022. So peak season 2022 was my first peak season as far as in this space. And August of 2022, and that content is still there. You guys can go back and watch it. I was telling people there's not going to be any peak season. And the people that have been watching me for a while, you guys remember that content is still up there. Everybody came at me. Everybody came at me. The reason why I said to people it wasn't going to be peak season because I seen the hype that these content creators were putting around it, and they were basing it off what they saw last year. Now, mind you, all these content creators were new. These were novice. So what I was looking at and how I was projecting that it wasn't going to be a peak season was based off my experience on how to forecast. All right. I gave out the trick years later. I wasn't going to give them the sauce because that was my leverage. You never give your leverage away. The reason why I was able to forecast and tell them there wasn't going to be any peak season is because there's a supply chain, right? Most of the goods that we consume in this country, for the most part, are manufactured outside of this country, right? So there is a supply chain. Now, it's common sense, but I've learned that common sense isn't so common, right? Certain things to me that even without being educated on something, certain things to me just obviously make sense. So with it being a supply chain, and most of the things that we consume in this country are manufactured out of this country, there has to be a system. The reason why I was able to forecast it is because I looked at the ocean freight volume, right? Also, the reason why I was able to forecast it was because of my work history in retail, working at a large retail store in the late 90s, coming into the early 2000s, and then working for a big box retailer after I graduated from school in Target, right? We started to receive all of our holiday freight, both when I was at the Gap and when I was in at Target, into August, September. We would start getting boxes in that said holiday 202, holiday 1, because you get your holiday freight in it was like 2 sections. You have like holiday 1, holiday 2. All right. So if you've ever been in retail, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So we would start getting that holiday stuff August, into August, September, all through September. 2 months prior. And all this stuff would get backstocked way in the back because there wasn't a use for this at the point. And for those that have been in retail, especially during that time period where just, foot traffic shopping was just popular, you would remember your back room would just get super duper packed, right? Because you're starting to inbound all the holiday freight and you're putting it in the back. We're using all the shelves high up that we normally don't use because we're storing this, right? October 31st, Halloween, transition team comes in overnight. They transition from holiday to seasonal holiday 1. The point that I'm trying to make is the holiday freight was already there. It's been there. It's been coming in for the previous 2 months, right? This doesn't magically appear there Black Friday. So when people were still talking about get ready for holiday in September, and I'm looking at the ocean freight volume and saw that it was low, and then I did the research like Kuhn and Nagel and all these companies that handle it on volume and saw that it was low, I started to dig and I put out the content like, no, you guys are wrong. Because you're saying get ready, get ready, get ready. If you're running middle mile, your peak season is now. It just doesn't start. Like the Amazon situation is a little bit different because that's an intranet, right? An intranet. So they may see a little volume after the holidays, moving stuff from terminal to terminal. Obviously, the final mile is going to see it, right? But for those middle mile guys that run the middle mile, you should see an uptick in movement September, October. So if you're talking about get ready, get ready, get ready, all the way to Black Wednesday and Black Friday, like this shit has already come and gone. What are you getting ready for? If I'm going shopping on Black Wednesday or Black Friday to a store, that means the shit is already there. And for the life of me, I just couldn't understand why these guys just didn't understand that. But then they were basing it off what they had the last year. But it was ignorant because that was all due to stimulus money. All right. So what's strange to me is now the people that are still around that were pushing this narrative that misled people, they're not talking about, like nobody's putting out peak season content. And I'm not here to a little bit of, I told you so, but I've been telling you this for the past 3 years, but it's just funny to me how it's just mums, it's just quiet, bro. This is all you hear now in this space. Nobody's putting out peak season, probably because they don't want to mislead anybody by be forecasting it, because I created that culture in this space of forecasting. And if you do it wrong, I'm coming for you. And then it's just nothing out there, and don't nobody want to hear bad information because they're probably out here scratching their head too. They've had 3 peak seasons of just nothing. And this is going to be the worst of them all. Literally, tomorrow is Black Wednesday. Tomorrow is Black Wednesday. Tomorrow is Black Wednesday. The culture has even shifted from Black Friday to Black Wednesday. We saw more movement last year on Black Wednesday than on Black Friday. Retailers are always marketing things different. Me being in retail from the 90s and just studying the market, from being in it on that side to getting in trucking, and then now in this space, I've seen the shift. They're always trying to figure out a way to market because they're competing. Once upon a time when foot traffic was foot traffic, when you had, and I'm just speaking from a big city perspective, New York, you got all your shops, Fifth Avenue. Chicago, you got the Magnificent Mile, Michigan Avenue, you got State Street. New York, you got Rodeo, where you got these blocks and blocks and blocks of just shopping. So it was a tradition to go downtown New York, go downtown Chicago, go downtown LA, and you got all your stores here, even when the malls were a thing. You could just go one place and everybody would just go from store to store to store. You were competing, but everything was just all in this just strip or mall. Throughout the 2000s, you start to see these stores compete more because they wanted to drive more foot traffic into their store and away from other stores because they're competing pretty much for the same products. So then you saw, and you young guys pay attention, because see, your other content creators don't kick it to you like Big Mark. You saw the marketing shift from Black Friday to stores starting to open on Thursday, on Thanksgiving. Why? So that they could get a day jump on their competitors. I'm trying to educate you something here. Pay attention. Follow me now. Never before seen. Nobody never opened up on Thanksgiving. It was unheard of. But you started to see Walmart and Target start their Black Friday 5 p.m. People that have Thanksgiving, it was strategically marketed. They let people have their Thanksgiving 3 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, man, people was lining up at the store. I think, was they opening up at like 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or I think it was midnight. That's what they were doing. That's how it first started, midnight. Doorbuster, midnight sale. People would have Thanksgiving at 3 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, people was out there in the cold with their lawn chairs for 5 hours waiting for midnight. And then this was the time period where flat screens were just really coming into fruition. They were plasmas. They were very, very expensive. And this was one of those doorbusters that everybody had because everybody still had tube TVs. But the culture was shifting because of competition. Then after retailers started to transition to opening to midnight to have those midnight doorbuster sales, they said, well, skip it. They open at midnight. We're going to open at 9. And then, you know what? No, we're going to open at 6. So then now Thanksgiving, the store is open. Then they came up with something new. Well, you know what? We're going to just do Cyber Monday. And then during this time period, the culture, the consumer buying behavior was shifting away from actually going into the store to online. We're gonna focus more on online sales, and we're just gonna do we're gonna do our Black Friday shit, but we're gonna also do a Cyber Monday. And over a period of time, this was driving people away from Black Friday to waiting to Monday because the deals were better. I'm paint a picture for you as far as the shift in the culture, because this also is a reason why you don't see the amount of traffic that you once saw. It has something to do with peak season, but the culture of peak season has changed in totality. This is why I'm taking you back 20, 25, 30 years. Because as a 45-year-old man that was working in retail in his late teens and through his early 20s, and then getting into trucking, and then here, I've seen it from all aspects. So I'm breaking you down how the culture has changed as far as the consumer buying behavior. The pandemic was an anomaly. That was a one-off, once in a century, probably you'll never see that again. But everybody was basing the current 2022, 2023 based off their first year. Ignorance. Culture has changed anyway. So now we came with the Cyber Monday. And then once everybody started to push in that direction, you saw Walmart and Target, because they're usually the leaders of the pack as far as the marketing is concerned. Black Wednesday. No, we're going to start a day early. So we went, now pay attention. None of the Black Wednesday is still fairly new. This wasn't a thing. So now you got Black Wednesday. And Black Wednesday shifted. Then you got pre-Thanksgiving. Amazon does it. Walmart does it. Where 2 weeks ago, they had this early Black Friday sales. Everybody's trying to beat their competitors because everybody's selling a Mr. Coffee pot. Target sells Mr. Coffee pot. Walmart sells a Mr. Coffee pot. Kohl's sells a Mr. Coffee pot. They got the same products. What's going to determine if you go to Kohl's and buy the Mr. Coffee pot, Walmart and buy the Mr. Coffee pot, Target and buy the Mr. Coffee pot, or just order it on Amazon? They're all competing. Fuck Black Friday. We don't have to wait till Black Friday. Who says we have to wait to Black Friday to have doorbuster sales? Fuck it. We're going to do Black Wednesday. Fuck it. We're going to do it 2-3 weeks early, and then we'll circle back around and get that money too. They're all competing. (2020-2021) was not the trucking industry of norm. 2020-2021 was a temporary distortion that was caused by chaos due to stimulus. 2020-2021 produced a generation of spoiled drivers and even more spoiled creators. This is why when I came in, I could go against everybody confidently, even when I was saying it, and they were all coming back. Listen, I got receipts. I've shown them. I'm not going to get that petty this year, but I remember all you. And it's a few that's still creating content, not as often. And I remember one guy went over to one creator's live stream. He still makes content. He's not who you probably thinking he is. He's bigger than that person. He's quiet. He don't fuck around with Big Mark. Somebody, because I was doing the you ain't gonna see no peak season. And then one guy went over there in his live stream and said, "Man, there's a creator out here that's saying there's not gonna be no peak season." That creator had some pretty disparaging things to say about Big Mark. And then when that peak season came, it was this. They're not gonna never give you credit and say you're right. They're just gonna get silent like they are now. But it created a generation of spoiled creators. I think when you're in a space and you're educating people and people are coming to you for information, you have to give them the information. And if you don't know the information, you should probably not mislead people. And if this is you saying, "Man, Mark, why you keep rubbing it in the face?" Because I have to. It's fun. Was it fun when they were saying these disparaging things, misleading people and saying, "Don't listen to that guy"? And then when it came, you just saw all the Mark the Mentor was right things. Do you think it was fun for me, for everybody? Oh, this guy talk all that shit. I just sat back patiently and I waited. Now this year, I haven't said anything about peak season because I was waiting on to see if these creators were going to. And it's not many of them. A lot of people have moved away, and I kind of little paid attention over on Instagram and shit like that to see if someone. But nobody. I haven't seen anything. Hit the like button. Does peak season exist? Yeah, it exists. It just transform into something different. The peak season that people witness coming in and from the content that they're watching that may circulate from those time periods is not what a normal peak season looks like. Peak season from the 90s and the 2000s has even transitioned and changed. And that's why I walked you down that timeline from 25 years ago. The pandemic was a once in a lifetime thing that ruined people. Stimulus created record volume, record shipping, and that shit had to be moved. E-commerce hit its peak at that time. It was already in the upward trajectory, right? Throughout the 2010s, it peaked. There was a bubble, and that bubble bursted. Freight was moving like wildfire, and companies were paying any rate just to get shit out to consumers. Rates weren't high because drivers were special. Rates were high because there was a special time in the marketplace. So every now and again, you will hear a person ignorantly say, "Oh, well, just trying to get to peak season." And now peak season, why is it so quiet? Literally, Black Wednesday is tomorrow. Everybody that was creating content thought they were a genius. There was only one guy that said no. There was only one brave soul that took the time to really research the market and went against what everybody was saying based off their research and their experience in this space. And guess what? I could have been wrong. I knew I wasn't going to be wrong. Because reality is reality. That's why it's called a supply chain. If majority of the things that we consume in America come from overseas, the first bump you should see is with the ocean freight. So if you don't see an influx of freight coming in the summertime, where is this shit magically going to come from? They weren't a genius. A lot of people went viral during that time. A lot of people quit their jobs because they were misled by creators. Peak season finna run up based on what they did in 2021. It was people quitting their jobs. I remember in 2022, it was people that were being misled to go out and rent multiple trucks because they thought that they were going to be able to duplicate what they did in 2021, and they were led to do so. A lot of those content creators left those videos up. Some of them have scrubbed them. My videos are up of me telling people that it wasn't going to be. People was ordering box trucks and renting box trucks like they were sneakers because they thought that, man, they was finna run it up again. Everybody thought that they was going to be the next Jeff Bezos. It didn't happen. What you see right now and what you've been seeing over the course of the past 3 years since, 4 years now since the bubble of 2021 is normal. This is normal trucking. This is a normal marketplace. And some of you may be thinking like, how is this normal? Things are down. That's why it's normal. Nothing stays the same. Things go up, things go down. It's a market, it's a cycle. It's based off supply and demand. It's based off consumer buying behavior. It's based off the economy. If the economy is booming and it's bubbling and it's bustling, then yes, you're going to see an increase. If the economy is not doing well, you're going to see a decrease. This is what makes it normal because things go up and down. This is the standard. The people who can survive in this are the real winners and the people that know what they're doing. This is not the spoiled and entitled and disconnected individuals from a consumer-based viewership and from a creation base. They just didn't know what the hell they were doing. And if you still have that mindset and you're still looking for rates comparable to 2020 and 2021, you're delusional. If you're confused, you're delusional. This market is humbling people. It's been humbling people for the past 3 years. This is what trucking actually looks like. Lower margins, higher competition. Hit the like button. I don't like where the likes is at. I don't like that because I'm cooking, I'm kicking it, and I don't like where the likes is at because your favorite guys that y'all was paying $20,000 for mentorships. Man, that shit crazy. That shit was crazy, bro. And these dudes sent y'all off. That shit fucked up. So hit the like button. This is what trucking looks like. Lower margins because of higher competition. Consumers tightening their budgets because of the economy, which makes it normal because it's an economy. There was a content creator during that time period when I was telling people it wasn't going to be no peak season, and the guy went over there and said, "Oh, this guy," and he said, and I got the receipts. He said, "So you think people ain't going to buy their kids toys?" No. You going to listen to him? When have you ever known people not to go out and buy their kids toys? Nah, I dare this content creator. He better not say nothing because I got the receipts. He better not say nothing. And guess what? They did. Now, let me tell you why that. Going back to what I was talking about in the earlier part of this live stream, as far as just take the pandemic out the equation, because I took you back to 98, all the way up until now. Culture has changed. Buying behavior has changed from parents based on the demand of specific types of items their children want. See, when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, and people that are in my age range, I remember getting action figures for Christmas. You had Teddy Ruxpin, you had He-Man action figures, Transformers, Garbage Pail Kids, Light Bright, if you were a girl, See and Says, things of that nature. Technology wasn't as advanced as it was, so we had things that, were prevalent to that time period. And if you were fortunate enough, if you came from a family that could afford to, you could get a Nintendo. We talking about, I'm back, mentally I'm in 86, 87 right about now, 88. I remember one Christmas, I just got a bunch of action figures, some Hot Wheels, no game in the 80s. My mama couldn't get us a Nintendo. I remember the year we got a Nintendo. It was 1991. A lot of my peers in school had a Nintendo prior to me. Years prior, she couldn't afford it. Got a Nintendo in 1991. I got prior to that, a lot of WWF. This is before WWE, before they got sued. It was the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation. A lot of those action figures. Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man. I remember I had a Superfly Jimmy Snuka, right? She bought the ring one Christmas, had to put the ring together, and I would reenact wrestling matches that I would watch on TV. These were the toys that we got. Now you fast forward 30 years later, kids don't play with toys. And I tried to explain this, but it fell on deaf ears, and people and other content creators wanted to go and make content and try to dispel it. Most of you guys that have kids that are under 14, I'm pretty sure the main thing on their Christmas list is probably like an iPhone 17, an iPhone 16, an iPad, something like that. And also what we've noticed over the time is normally when people get their kids these high-ticket electronic items, that's probably all they're going to get. So back in the day, whereas a parent can go out, even if they didn't have a lot of money, if you go get 3 or 4 wrestling action figures, the wrestling ring, some He-Man action figures, maybe a Teddy Ruxpin, some Garbage Pail Kids, and then maybe one educational item like a See and Say, that's 7, 8 different items that are getting wrapped and put under the tree. And still a fraction of the cost with an iPhone that a kid today is asking for. Or some other high-end tech thing. You go into the toy section at a Walmart, and see, this is where the experience comes in at. And I still don't like where the like buttons is at. Because your other content creators ain't kicking it to you like Big Mark. You go into a retail store 20 years ago, and you go to the toy aisle, it's fucking chaos. You go into Walmart, you go into Target now on a Saturday at 4 or 5 o'clock, it's fucking quiet. You can hear crickets. The aisles are neat and perfect. All the toys and all the items on the shelf are neatly still brought to the front. You went into a retail store 20 years ago on a Saturday, on Sunday, every single weekend leading up to Christmas. It's like how y'all be waiting outside for Jordans now, but 50 times worse. So when that content creator said that, it was ignorant. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm valuable in this space. Because if people was buying toys, just like Kelvin Birch said, why did Toys R Us go out of business? So I'm looking at like, why is this guy even trying to go back and forth with me? And Toys R Us is literally out of fucking business. Toys R Us is reduced to a pop-up shop now. Toys R Us is comparable to Spirit Halloween. It is a seasonal pop-up shop. And this is where my experience comes in. This is why I just desecrate a lot of these guys. Now I'm talking my shit right now. I am talking my shit and I deserve to. People say things because they just don't want to be wrong. And they hopeful because they're in the situation that, man, we need this peak season to jump because I need this. Big Mark is going to give it to you facts. Kids don't play with toys no more. I ain't seen a kid play with a toy in a hot minute. I see kids with the newest iPhones. I see kids with the newest fashion. I see kids talking about Roblox and shit that are digital tech items. I see kids wanting V-Bucks. What's the shit for the 2K? What is that called? Those money that you got to pay, V-Bucks and all this other shit. The money that you got to put. They want cards. Man, give me a card with $100 so I can get some skins. You're not asking for no see and say. So let me kick it to you like this. Another reason why volume has gone down, and we take the pandemic out the equation. You go back 20, 25, 30 years ago, like when I was a kid, everything that I named was a physical product that had to be moved on a truck. There's less physical products being purchased. There's more digital products being purchased. You go buy a PS5, a lot of people download the games now. Back in the day, you go to Toys R Us right on a day like today or this weekend, the video game, the whole store is packed, but then it's a long line of people waiting for the person, because the video games have always been locked up, as far as I can remember, even back then. You waiting for the people that work over there in the video game aisle. Hey, I need a Sonic the Hedgehog. I need a Super Mario Brothers 2. But wait, I'm dealing with a customer because it's locked. So now you got 50 people over there waiting for them to come unlock the thing. What game you need? Give me Super Mario Brothers 3. All right, it's going to be at the register for you. Let me ring them out, and then who's next? What you need? Oh, I need an NBA Live 95. All these are physical products. There's less physical products being purchased for the holiday because it's more digital products being purchased. Kids don't play with fucking toys. You don't believe me? Go into fucking Walmart this Saturday and go in the toy aisle and let me know what let me know what happens. I've been paying attention. V-Bucks doesn't move on a truck. Skins don't. You can't move this on a truck. So now you take all this technology out the equation. Christmases 20, 25, 30 years ago, way more physical products. Physical games, physical action figures, physical this, physical that, physical this, physical that. Not to say people aren't buying. Yeah, there's people buying things less. But I'm speaking from this particular space as far as toys are concerned, because I haven't looked at it, but I guarantee if we go back in that time period and we look at the uptick in volume for a specific time, let's say November and December, as far as categories, I'm pretty sure toys would be number one as far as most sold. Hit the like button. So now here we are, Tuesday, the day before Black Wednesday, which to me, Black Wednesday is more important than Black Friday. And I'm basing that off what I saw last year. There's more people shopping Black Wednesday than Black Friday, because there were more sales. And then on top of that, the sales start early and then they continue throughout the weekend. But what happens? If you're late to the party, you miss out. So when Walmart had the Black Wednesday sales, they had the 4-day thing that they did last year. They did it this year. They re-upped. That was 2 weeks ago. They re-upped on their stock. And guess what? All those TVs that they had, the people who came Black Friday, them TVs was gone because the sale started Black Wednesday throughout the weekend. Everybody bought the hot ticket items up Black Wednesday. They were gone by Friday. So if tomorrow is Black Wednesday and what's known don't need to be explained, e-commerce growth is cooling off. Like it was going to hit its pinnacle at some point. Obviously, it hit its pinnacle was forced due to, obviously the pandemic, the stimulus, and that's when it hit its pinnacle. And then it had nowhere else to go but come down. If you take the pandemic out the equation, eventually it was going to it was going to hit its pinnacle and come down anyway. The pandemic was the one in a lifetime thing that just accelerated that growth. Why? Because people had money. Everything that everybody ever wanted that could never get, they could get it now because they had the money. Now you need real business skills. You know what? Let me talk about this too while we're on the topic of toys and things of that nature. Let's keep it real, because what we do on this channel, we keep it a buck, man. We just kick it, man. We kick it. You know, I think one of them, and then I was having this conversation in the Discord about a month ago. You know, the reason why I think a lot of kids, because and let me know if I'm wrong. I never heard of until recently. I never heard of, and when I say recently, like past couple years, I never heard of nonverbal autism. Like, this is something that I'm just now hearing. And maybe it existed prior to a couple years ago. Maybe it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. But I never seen as many kids today that just can't talk. Like, this nonverbal autism thing, this is something that I'm seeing more and more and more of. So because I'm just the type of person, when I see something, I see a trend and it hits close to home, not with anybody in my family. My niece is good, but there's people that I know that have had kids over the course, like maybe the last 5-7 years, that their kids just don't talk. And then I found out now, and then you see it with some celebrities. They're saying Nicki Minaj's child. They're saying some other people, whatever. So I wanted to do some research, and I couldn't really find anything. So I started to formulate my own synopsis. And then I think the answer came to me. And I was having this conversation, I think, with Pippi and some other people in the Discord. There's something that I noticed from my upbringing and kids that were brought up in the 80s and the 90s and even prior in comparison to now. The difference between then and now, a lot of the toys that we played with, even with action figures, it helped with our hand and eye coordination. Something that we had growing up, and I know this is not something a lot of people want to hear. You see how people leave, but it all plays in. It all plays in. When we were playing with action figures and we were playing with Hot Wheels and we were using our imagination. I remember sitting on the floor and, you know, with these action figures, I was creating and recreating a wrestling match that I seen on the WWF, and I might have had the ring and Hulk Hogan fighting Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and I'm you know, doing what I do with the action figures, and I'm also recreating the ring announcer. Oh, here comes Hulk Hogan off the top rope, and you're just sitting there as a kid playing by yourself. This was just common for kids to play by yourself. Hulk Hogan off the top rope, and you're playing. You're using your hand and eye coordination. You're recreating something that you saw, right? So you're exercising like your memory. You're using your imagination. And I think as an adult now, I see the importance of that. Kids that grew up during our time period, we had an imagination because we were forced to have one. Technology wasn't as advanced as it was, and we were poor. So we would sit there and talk to ourselves and have imaginary friends and recreate things, and we'd play with He-Man and the She-Ra and Garbage Pail Kids, and we had educational toys, but we had an imagination. And I think this was a big help, just talking to yourself. Now, what do you see? You see kids, their parents shove an iPad and an iPhone in front of their kid's face. Now the kid is just sitting there. They can play the hell out of fucking Subway Surfers, but they sit there all fucking day and they play Subway Surfers and they don't talk. You're not your hand and eye coordination. Listen, I know I've seen some kids, and I don't want to go into names. I've seen people raising kids, and I hope they're not watching, where, you know, and if the shoe don't fit, don't put it on, where their kids just put a phone or a pad and they just play. They're not talking. It's no imagination there. Hand and eye coordination. Some of y'all probably know some 2- and 3-year-olds could play the hell out of some Subway Surfers or some of these games and shit, whatever's popular on the phone. Angry Birds or whatever, it's not using your imagination. Your hand and eye coordination is good. And I noticed that about a lot of nonverbal autistic. They're good at gadget shit. They can't talk. No imagination. They're not using their brain. Their critical thinking. But maybe they are, but I see why having imagination was good back then. I see how toys back then, even if they were like action figures, were more educational than just shoving a phone or a pad in front of a kid today. Because you're consumed with scrolling the internet. So this is just the best way to keep this kid quiet while you consume with all the dumb shit on social media. And I think it's creating this trend, unfortunate trend, of children being nonverbal autistic. And these are just my thoughts. But what we see now in trucking is normal. The people that are winning today are not lucky. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. They're not viral and they're not loud. They're quietly winning. They're busy. They're disciplined. They're financially literate. They understand real demand, not manufactured demand based on an infusion of capital into the market, or what someone that wasn't educated or experienced in a specific industry told them. Peak season used to hit like a freight train prior to the pandemic, years prior, because of the way the economy and where consumer buying behavior, where it was at that time. But it's transition. Even, we can go even deeper. Back when we were growing up, there could be things that we wanted and your parent would just tell it, put it on your Christmas list. Now parents, just get people things, kids things throughout the year if they want them. A lot of them do it for, not really for the kid. They'll do it for more for their clout for them, so they can take a picture of it and post it on the gram and say anything for hashtag anything for him, hashtag anything for her. They do it more for social clout. That's why a lot of people go broke for Christmas now, because they got to take that one picture, the pajama picture by the tree and shit like that. It's all for the clout. Social media fucked a lot of people up, bro. It did. It did. It really did. Social media is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. It's how you use it. But yeah, it used to be, it used to hit like a freight train prior to the pandemic, like in the days of old. Just because people will wait to that time, the holiday season, and spending money and shopping and getting things that your child had been putting on their Christmas list throughout the year. And you were saving up for this moment. Now you just get a little bump, a slight little increase, a few hot lanes, and that's it. So that's why I'm telling you, this live stream is more to the shift in the consumer buying behavior than just the pandemic hype. It's more to it than that. That played a big part of people's mindset that came in during that time period, but peak season was going in a different direction over the course of the years anyway, based on the economy and consumer buying behavior shifting. Now let's get into something a little bit more spicy or whatever. You know, one of the main reasons why your creators haven't mentioned it, obviously because they don't want to jump out the window like they did for those years and be wrong, and then I'll be coming after them. But you can't hype something when there's nothing left to hype. Peak season during those time periods of those content creation days when this space was on fire was those people's Super Bowl. They would remember those people that have been around, they would love to wait to this time. Like their content would go off the meat, right? This was their Super Bowl. This was the core of the content during this time period. The peak season was they're getting now before it's too late. This is when those courses and things would fly off the shelves. Because this is when most ignorant people just came in, just ignorant. When the freight slowed down, and as it continued to slow down, as we see throughout the course of the years, because we've been monitoring, the influencers did. The ones who used to post shit every peak season, you don't see shit now. The ones that used to brag, they're quiet. The ones that are still here. You had guys that were preaching freedom and shit like that, and you don't hear that shit no more. You can't build a brand on conditions that don't exist anymore. And this is why it's important as a consumer, and I'm paralleling a viewer to a consumer because you're consuming content. So even though you're not paying for it, you're still consuming it. So you're a consumer from that perspective. You have to be careful. I've seen so many people get misled based off this season post-pandemic. So peak season is dead. There's going to be some hot lanes next month. You're going to see a little slight bump here and there, but that's it. Middle mile guys, obviously the freight is where it needs to be already. So final mile, you're going to see a little crease, right? Obviously. Some Amazon stuff, obviously, because those lanes are moving, but not like what you saw during those 2 years. The hype era is dead. It's a wrap. It's over with. This is real business, real numbers, real margin, real discipline, real competition. This is back to the fundamentals now. And it's been back. But I have to keep reiterating to people who are just naive. CPM, strategies, root strategies, understanding your market, diversifying when need be, managing overhead, building relationships. The illusion is over with. And this is why your favorite people are quiet. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to open up the phone lines here, and we're going to give some people a chance to call in. There's the number if you want to call in and holler at the kid about what we just talked about. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. There's the call-in number. Line is open. You want to rap about the current topic, peak season, what we just talked about. That's all I want to talk about. I don't want to get no coaching, just kicking it about the topic. There's a number on the screen, 312-772-5483. Line is open. Shout out to M. Jackson in the building. You want to rap? 312-772-5483. 312-772-5483. Lines are open. They're open. We're talking about peak season today, guys. Peak season. Lines are open. I hope that nobody was waiting for this season to save you. Stop waiting for a market that's never coming back. Win in the market we have, not the market you miss, not the market someone told you about when they said, man, I remember back in 2020, 2021, man, I was making money, man. And get out of here. A real person is rising, they adapting, they gonna dominate regardless. They're gonna outlast the hype. They're gonna build a real business while everybody else mourns a fairy tale. What you know and what you thought and what you hoping is not coming back. And that's the part where a lot of your favorite people ain't gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you. Call-in line is open. Call-in line is open. 312-772-5483. 54, not 4, 483. 312-772-5483. Oh, man. All right. We'll give it a few more minutes, man. Don't be shy. You ain't going to be on the camera. It's a call-in number. I can't see you. Y'all remember that song? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, that's like the stuff we used to watch as kids, stuff that was educational. You don't even see that stuff no more. Do they still have that show? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. Sesame Street still a thing? Or no? I know Mr. Rogers passed, right? So Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is over with. But what about Sesame Street? All right. Call-in line is open. 312-772-5483. 312-772-5483. Topic is peak season. Let me know what your thoughts are. Line is open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Crazy how I still remember those songs. Drew said, all the peak season defenders are in the upper room. The upper room? Damn. He's saying you sure they in the upper room or the lower room? They might be in the lower room. You dig? Listen. Check this out. They might be in the lower room. Some of them might be in the lower room. Not everybody goes to the upper room. You dig? Man, I remember 2022 when I first came out with that peak season video. It came at the kid, then I doubled down like a month later. I was in war with the whole space, boy. And then peak season came. Woo, boy. Mad, boy. They was mad. Told them then, leave me alone. Here we are, 3 years later. Is this 3 years later? Yeah, 3 years later. Yeah, man. 22, 23, 24, 25. So this is 3 years later, but this is my fourth peak season in this space as far as creating content because I came April of 2022. So I had peak season 22, 23, 24, and now 25. And you was here, they want all the smoke. They wanted all that smoke, boy. I was tearing a hole in their ass, Paul. I was fucking them up, boy. Hey, man, they still mad at the kid. I love it, though. I love it. I love it. Listen. I love it. I'm with all of it. I'm with all that. M. Jackson, I just want to hear the same content creators that went against you debate you because they was obviously wrong. They're not gonna do that, bro. And this is what I'm saying. For them to do that, it would be detrimental to their credibility. So they don't want to shine light. They're not going to shine light to the fact that they were wrong. It takes a strong person to admit that they were wrong. You know, and a lot of people just not going to do that. They don't want to admit to a public that they were wrong. It takes a strong person to do that. You know, it's okay to criticize and ridicule, but then when it's time to show and prove and just, man, dude, I was wrong. I ain't gonna do that. So a lot of them ain't even here no more. So, you know, really it's on, and a lot of them ain't here. They gone. Majority, like 99.8% of them are gone. So even if a person makes content every blue moon, I don't consider that person here. Them type of people here either. A person who make content sparingly throughout the year, I consider that gone too. So majority of the people gone. Some people have transitioned over to other platforms like Instagram and TikTok because over there is just more ignorance. One thing I learned about YouTube is there's ignorant people that consume content on YouTube, but for the most part, this is more of a polished, older, just more, you know, less likely to be misled audience in comparison to Instagram and TikTok. Over there, you could sell a water to a whale, bro. Over there, you can sell, you know, the Brooklyn Bridge. You can tell a person, tell them that the Brooklyn Bridge is in downtown Chicago, and they'll buy it from you. You just over there, it's just a lot of ignorance. You know, so there's ignorant people over here too, but not as many. Not as many. It's harder to, you know, break through over here because of that. So they just shift. So and this ain't really the star I see y'all naming people. This is really for me to, you know, I gotta always come and gloat. I have to do that. Because I sit patiently. Y'all got to give me credit for being patient, but y'all also got to let me gloat. Because I don't go fucking with nobody. I'm always on the response. So, around this time every year, I got to come and do my little 1-2 step. I have to do it. I have to, because in 2022, they was fucking with me. I'm never going to forget that. Never. Because I just wanted to come on here and do my little content and just do that. And these people came fucking with me. And they didn't know who I was because I came in a certain type of way, and then they had y'all wanted to see that other side that y'all didn't know was there, and it was there, and y'all should just let me the fuck alone. So I have to do this. Every year I'm gonna do this. So I know they was like, man, he ain't said nothing. It's the 25th, he ain't said nothing. Nah. Of course I was gonna do it. Thought I wasn't when I was. We got us a caller. Let's see how this works. Caller, you on the line?
Hey, this? None of this Black Wednesday thing was in my algorithms.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't in my algorithm.
You probably don't shop. You don't shop.
What, you saying I can't afford anything? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just saying you probably ain't really been shopping for nothing.
But I'll tell you what. I wanted to give you a call in. You just leave this number up, man. You just let them figure it out. It's gonna take a little time.
I took it down. Oh my bad. I didn't know. I forgot.
Yeah,
I took it down.
you know what? Listen. You brought up a great point that the stuff when we were young, we had to go to the store, and I remember going to the store on Thanksgiving because a lot of games would come out for the Thanksgiving thing, and I'd be going to the store to get my Xbox games. I didn't have PlayStation; I had Xbox.
Okay.
So you're right, and it didn't dawn on me until you said that a lot of the stuff that we used to buy now we download. Games is a big one.
Yeah,
it's monstrous.
Yeah,
and we're not playing with Macho Man and Hulk Hogan in a ring. We're playing, that Macho Man and Hulk Hogan on a video game now.
Yeah.
So what do we need to buy?
Yeah. There's just less physical things that are being moved. No CDs, no more, no records. Yeah. All these things were gifts. So all these were physical, tangible things that you can touch. And when you remove all that, it's a lot of volume that's gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a ton of it.
Yeah.
And especially right now at peak season.
Yeah.
For the box truck. I mean, some of it was already moved for the big trucks type stuff, but a lot of box trucks should be going right now for spot type stuff.
Yeah. And they're not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's over with. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over
but with. I like to call in. I like the monitor setup is top notch back there in the corner.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate that, man. We still adding some things. We still adding some things, man. We still adding some things.
I mean, I think Holiday kind of binding some stuff up, but like you said, we'll still be doing stuff. And I do like the call in. So now I got to fix my call in number because you just every time I do anything, you got to just smack me in the face with something better.
How?
So
what's the difference between this number and your number? Mine is a local area code. Yours is
my number and your number. For the love of God, look at what you got on the screen compared to what I put on the screen.
Are you talking about the actual overlay of it?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, you have to take time into the things. You can't just rush this stuff. You have to coordinate it. You got to take time.
Listen, do I look like I coordinate anything? I mean, have you heard my show? Do you think any of that's coordinated?
Well, maybe not the because you don't know what's going to happen when people call in. But as far as the aesthetic of it, you got to coordinate, man.
Listen. I'm back here wearing pajama pants, and you're wearing brand names and all.
I got a basketball shorts and a George t-shirt. See, I'm a fly guy in real, so it has to be a representation. Like anything I do, it's got to be on point, or I just can't do it, bro. I can't do it. It got to be.
You're just throwing this in. I swear to God,
I ain't throwing nothing in your face. Sage, go ahead and spend that money, pimp. It ain't nothing but a little paper.
That's funny right there.
It ain't nothing but a little paper.
You got to get a producer. That's what you need. You got to jump on and get a producer and run the Discord. That's the only. Well, I only need him to produce words when I get pissed off. But you should get a producer. Throw up the links. Get ready for the links. Throw them up. Make a Discord thing, and then have the producer throw up different links you want to cover.
Okay.
Why Well, hey, everybody in the chat, why aren't you calling in this number? This number you should be calling in right now. I don't know what's
They
going on.
probably don't want to talk about peak because I said the number is only when the phone lines are open, it's only pertaining to the topic of discussion for the day. Like I'm not finna coach. I don't want to hear about your whatever you got going on. You want to say something as regards to peak season, where how you might have came in during that time period, it's changed, or you agree with me or you disagree. It has to be pertaining to the topic of the show. It has to streamline with what we're talking about. So
yeah,
I'm trying
well,
to
I think if
I'm
they
trying
don't,
to
you just do
make
like-
things
you just-
cohesive, man.
Yeah. Well, if they don't, you just keep asking the question, how is this on the topic? How are you on topic? Where's the topic? And then you know what I mean? So that makes it kind of fun too, because you got to bring them back to topic.
Yeah.
I just screenshot your phone number too, so I had it.
Yeah.
Because now I got to copy this thing. I feel pitiful.
Why?
I feel pitiful. I feel out of algorithms. First of all, I didn't even know about the algorithm, but the peak season thing, like I said, that was a topic that I don't think that sunk in. Well, maybe I'm hoping it sunk in, but it didn't sink in until you actually said, "Hey, you remember when I used to go to the store and actually buy toys?"
Yeah.
And you guys download video games now.
Yeah.
So how do you think that affects freight volumes?
A lot. And that's why when I do these shows and I come up with these topics, I have to let people know, listen, it's different over here. It's different. We gonna kick it and I'm gonna break it all down to you so that you understand it. I'm not gonna come up here and just hit these talking points and people sitting in it. I'm not gonna do all that. We have to in order for people to understand, you have to really break this shit down. So, and I think, a lot of people just looking at it from the pandemic perspective, but this whole peak season thing, it was going in this direction anyways, just the pandemic accelerated. We were already in a peak season decline. You see what I'm saying? And I've seen it from just being in retail in the 90s and the 2000s, being in the trucking industry, right? Going through the pandemic and just seeing it just go down. It shift. And that's why I wanted to break it down for people so that they can understand it all the way down to just the physical aspects. Everything 20, 25, 30 years ago that you got for Christmas was physical. There's less physical things for kids, especially, that are being purchased. They're getting one physical thing, a phone or a pad, and then a card where they can download a bunch of digital products with that one physical thing. A person goes out and they finance a $1,700 orange phone for a kid. In most cases, that's all they're getting. If they go out and they get a PlayStation 5 for a kid, how much is a PS5? $700, $800, whatever it is. And then they give them a $200 or $300 or $400. Let's say let's say $1,500 all in, whatever the console cost, maybe an additional controller, and then the difference of that $1,500 is for digital items, games, skins. That's it. Yeah. They only bought one thing. A parent is not gonna go and spend $2,000, $3,000, and $4,000 and $5,000 for a kid. They bought one thing and spent $1,500, and that's it. Yeah. People don't even really put up trees like that no more.
True.
So shift it.
I mean, and I mean, even I said, even now, on top of that, people don't have a ton of money to spend right now. So the stuff that they are getting, is even the smaller stuff and things like that. So, so now you got less to get, and then you have people that ain't got the money to spend. And but yeah, that's an interesting point, man.
Yeah,
it's a good point that it's people gotta. But the problem is that, or the issue is that then, okay, how do we? So what do people? What do they do?
What does who do? What does who do?
Well, they're not hitting the peak season when they were supposed to hit the peak season because they came in during, like you said, during COVID, and they're like they haven't learned the system. Then where do they go? Like, where are they going now?
If you're
like, what do I do now?
If you've been sitting around and waiting for peak season to save you, then that's on you. Because I've been telling people the same thing since I created content. So even if it was a boom, you're still crazy for sitting around waiting for one season. That should just be a bonus for you because it's not normal, right? So if you've been sitting around in this economy thinking that, people are just going to magically have money and go out and spend it for the holiday, then you're a fool. So that's on those individuals. There's nothing they can do. We've seen more people fail during this time period, because right after this, usually January, it's a wrap. This is when you see most people come out, the people that's been holding on by the hair of their chinny chin chin, thinking that this season, this month is going to save them, and then January hits and it's a wrap. You don't hear from them no more. So no, there's nothing they can do. It's a wrap. Because if
So
you
then they wait for tax season, they're waiting for the spring tax season spend.
but this is where the people that's on their last leg, this is where they get wiped out at. They not gonna make it to tax season.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because if it's nothing cracking now, January going to just go ahead and just fatality them.
So is there a pivot? Do you see a pivot right now if somebody needed a pivot?
Most of the guys that haven't pivoted aren't going to pivot because they would have pivoted already. So the guys that are struggling, that are running OTR, if they haven't pivoted now, they're not going to pivot because they should have pivoted already.
They lost the ball.
So
I do know some of the algorithms, right?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. So
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'm learning every day. No, I think it's a good show. I just wanted to call in. I'm going to let somebody else call in. Somebody else better call in because they don't want me yelling at them on my show.
No, it's all
So
good.
somebody should call in. They should talk some peak season.
We'll see. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes if they don't call. You know, it's the first time I tried it. You know, people gotta get comfortable. And then I didn't really trigger. You know, you try to trigger some people. People that agree, they might not call. Some people may call. The people who get triggered enough, they'll call angry. But you know, the content creators, 99% of them ain't here, and then the ones that are still here, they're not gonna call. No, they ain't gonna call.
I think they eventually will. It does take time for the call.
No, they're
People
not.
need to feel comfortable.
Listen, this is a very, very, very small space. It's very small, you know. So it's not as big as like what you do over there, like
crazy. I mean, crazy people.
Yeah. So
I'm dealing with crazy.
Yeah, politics, you're gonna be open up for everybody to call. And then the topics that you hit, you know, it's just gonna drive a lot of emotion. Just
let me know when you're going to do like a call-in show like this, because what I'll do is I'll drop it over on LinkedIn, and I'll see if we can get some traction on LinkedIn people, because LinkedIn people are like, that's like a professional Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you know, stuff like that. And I'm building someone over there, but I've got some peeps over there that I can drop it.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't have to be a debate. I'm just saying anybody want to talk. It could be an educational conversation, just as long as it stays.
I'm not saying debate at all. It could be just somebody calling. That's what I'm saying. They're probably not going to debate you over there as much as they're going to want to call in and, you know, talk about the topic or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can reach out to some people.
Yeah,
I can reach out to like either Charles from XM Radio. I'll have him call in. I'll tell him to call in, watch the show and call in, or even the Freightwaves guy. I don't give a crap who it is. Let's get some people on.
Freightwaves, I see people on Freightwaves, and I ain't gonna say no names. I think they just let anybody on that. And then the people that get on that, not everybody, they just, I was on XM Radio on Freightwaves. Dude, you don't even fucking know shit. You're fucking retard, bro. Like, so I mean, to me, you know, that's cool and all that, but they just let anybody over there because I don't think people really are going over there, and I don't think they really watch people's content to check their the credibility of their knowledge, because I've seen people over there that are just not knowledgeable.
No, I agree 100%. And some of the XM, and I've even told them that over, because of course I've been on there too. So that you know, listen, Sage, I just smacked you in the face again. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, I think it's they're searching for people to bring the content, because it's very difficult to find content over there, right? So they're searching, but they don't search, they don't look. So people they just jump on.
That's because it's boring, bro.
Yeah.
They're a big network, but their content is boring, bro. Nobody wants to just like all that looking at charts and shit. They gotta kick it. Like, see how like I be with me, the way I present it, I can pull in a bunch of different demographics from different ethnicities, from different age ranges, from different cultures because of the presentation. By them being like older corporate white guys that are sponsored by, I don't know, Freightwaves might have a little VC money. You know, I think they're kind of limited, but they're probably not limited. They're just not in tune with just like nobody wants to watch a boring show, bro.
Oh, yeah, no, and the way freightways is in a position that they're not set up to catch the trucking industry of today. They're just not.
Yeah.
They're just not.
Because even the
And
guy that
that's
they
one of the
hired,
reasons.
the black guy, he's kind of like broken wrist energy a little bit, man. Most truckers ain't gonna sit up here and watch nobody. And I'm not saying he is, but it's a little
Yeah.
broken wrist energy, man. I just don't think a lot of, I think people want to watch somebody that's down there, whether they like them or not, whether they agree with them or not, they want somebody that they could at least digest it more.
Mhm.
Because sometimes it's like I've tried to watch the what the and all that. That shit boring, bro.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree, but because I don't think they don't like a lot of pushback. They don't like a lot of um not really triggering. It's not even that. Well, they don't want that, but they don't
Mhm.
even want any kind of pushback. They stick, in that format. They don't try to push against
And
people and tell them,
and
hey,
and
this
that,
is reality.
and that's why, because you see that even with creators like that's comparable to my size. As soon as somebody come in the chat, they block them. Me,
Yeah.
I dropped the link. Come up here. Because here's the thing. If you come up here and you can out debate me and you can substantiate whatever it is you're saying, then you deserve to get that clout. And then I gotta walk my shit back. You can't
Yeah.
be up here and do this shit and then want to push it one way. You dig what I'm saying? Because people don't, I see it all the time, even here. People they don't. I'm the only person that will drop the link on your ass. Most of the
Oh,
people
yeah.
just be trolls and allow them to be in their feelings, but everybody else, even the big ones, even the smaller ones, they don't want no pushback. They just wanted to push it one way, and that's whack, bro. That's whack.
Yeah. And I think
So
you're going to always have some crazies on the phone, but I think the phone's a good thing because it makes it a little easier for people that might not have normally clicked in will call in.
yeah,
And you might get you're going to get some pushback there.
we'll see how it
Uh,
goes. We'll see how it
but you're going to get
goes.
some crazies. Well, you might not. I get crazies,
Well,
to be
you in
honest.
politics. You do politics,
Yeah.
and I don't do politics.
Wow.
Yeah, it's too.
Political? It's too
No, it's
political.
just like I was watching your show this morning, and it was just like people they just calling politics is that people just calling they're angry because of their
Yeah.
situation. A lot of people are angry because of their situation. They're blaming it on government. I was listening to you talk to the guy who I guess he was in the service. It was the guy that was the last guy that you were
Yeah.
talking
The
to,
guy
and
that
you were talking about the president giving the orders and shit like that. Everybody that calls in, I get it because you're kind of provoking them to call in debate. These are obviously people that are
Yeah.
opposing you.
Yeah.
But it's just like everybody is angry, and it's just I just from a political perspective, I just don't want to go back and forth with that. I can do it as far as this is concerned. Political,
Yeah.
I just
No, I understand.
yeah
Like I said, that's just like two different rhythms, basically.
yeah
Two different algos, as I'm starting to learn.
yeah
But no, I
because
think this is good. I think you'll get some people to call in. I can jump off and let somebody but I do think you'll get some people to call in.
yeah, we'll
But I
see.
appreciate you taking my call.
All right,
And
man.
let's see if somebody else rings in.
All right, man.
I got this number saved. I'm gonna probably call you up and at least, prank you a little bit, just so you know.
Cool.
That's what I do.
I'll be here, man. I ain't going nowhere.
It's Ray Ray. I'll call in as Ray Ray. You know what I'm
10-4,
saying?
man. I ain't going nowhere. I like
All
doing
right.
this, man. This is cool, man. This is fun to me. Just talking
I
shit.
know. It's a
Yeah,
good time. It's a
yeah.
good
This is
time. And like I
fun,
said,
man.
people can call in and just have a conversation. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
love this, man.
One on one.
I love this.
One on ones. All right,
Yeah.
brother.
All right,
Let
man.
me think.
Peace.
Let's see if somebody else calls in.
All right, man. Later.
$100 the next caller
All right.
if you call within 1 second.
No, I'm not doing that. All right, man. Lines are open. Any other callers? Talking about peak season. Peak season. Peak season. The line is open. You're on the line, caller.
Yeah. I just wanted to respond back to what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically just piggybacking because I agree with like everything you're saying, like how
Mm-hmm.
things is changing and kids is not getting toys, like physical toys, like how they were, like because I'm around the same age as you.
Okay.
So I know how it is. Like we had a lot of toys. Like I used to have a lot of toys under my tree,
Mm-hmm.
like Corey and Cricket, Baby Heather, all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
from the 80s. And Like I got one son, and like he's getting the gaming computer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting a gaming computer, and he's getting a gaming chair, headphones, but it's all like you said, technology related.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not getting like no physical toys. Because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, when a person you add that up, that's gonna be like over $1,000, around 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm looking at. So that's it. And
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my money on toys,
How old is
and
he?
then he's not going to play with them. He's 9.
See, and thank you for calling
Mhm.
in. 9 years old. So when I go back to
Mhm.
9, that was 1989. It was a lot of action
Mhm.
figures and just a lot of
Yeah.
smaller things, Hot Wheel cars and
Mhm.
things like that. Just more physical products and that a 9-year-old would get. Now a 9-year-old, but 2 items: the console and the chair. So
Mhm.
what, he want to be like a streamer, like Kai Cenat? Is that what it is? He's trying to do the streaming
Um,
thing? Or
he basically like to play the games.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think he was trying to do like a little YouTube video here and there, but
Mm-hmm.
his thing is the games, and he likes the Roblox.
Oh,
And
Roblox.
he always
Okay.
asking me to buy. He always asked me to buy the Robux,
Mm-hmm.
and then the things like you said, the V-Bucks with the PlayStation, because he got PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I can't debate with you
No,
because
I'm
I
not.
agree with you.
No,
But
I'm not even necessarily looking to debate. Just taking
yeah,
callers, whether you
yeah,
disagree, you agree, and just talk about your
yeah.
experience. You know what I'm saying? If it parallels
Mhm.
to what I'm saying,
Yeah, I
then
did hear you say that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did say as long as it's relevant to what the video was about.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just wanted to call in.
I
And I
appreciate the
like
call.
your show. You got a lot of knowledge,
Thank
and
you.
you be spitting those gems.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much
And
for
people
calling
don't
in.
like the truth.
They
And
don't.
most people don't like the truth. So that's why I believe like people ain't calling and they might not agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe a lot of people did miss the boat, like you said, but that pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that money and they was flossing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, now they don't got nothing to show for it. Like you said, they selling their stuff,
Mm-hmm.
trying to sell their Gucci and Fendi on the Poshmark.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Like this shit, like you said, investors did something with it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people they missed it.
Yep. They missed the boat.
Yeah, missed the boat.
Yep.
Yeah, who knows when another one going to come?
Another one will probably, another one will come. You'll see,
Mm-hmm.
market cycles are going to go up and down, but that
Yeah,
level
so
probably never in
fluctuate.
this lifetime. That particular,
Mm-hmm.
because man,
Like
people
you said,
was
like a
running.
time of a lifetime, right?
Yeah, that was once in a lifetime. That was once in a
Yeah,
lifetime.
basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People squandered
Yep.
hundreds of thousands. There's people that literally got hundreds of thousands of dollars and they squandered it. So
It's sad, ain't it?
very sad. Very
Mm-hmm.
sad. So
I guess they going to kick themselves, whatever.
whatever. But I appreciate the
Mm-hmm.
call.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Bye.
All
Have a
right,
happy
bye-bye.
holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. All right. Lines are open, man. It's 2 down. Anybody else want to call? Anybody else? Lines are open. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Appreciate the last 2 callers. Shout out to I see Johnny Bravo in the building. Let me see what we got. Let's see. There's one that said downloading games is the way to go. Downloading games is the way to go. I don't know how GameStop is still in business. I think GameStop is still in business because they realized that they couldn't just focus on games. They have collectibles. They do trade-in. I think they sell cards and things of that nature. Obviously, they still sell physical products. And then I think they do repair as well. I think they repair like PS5s and PS4s, if I'm not mistaken. So I think just that component, those components that I just mentioned, is what's keeping them around. So yeah. How long will they be around? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So, but yeah. think that's what's keeping them around for right now. So, M. Jackson said 90s still undefeated, 80s baby, 90s childhood. We had the best there. I believe so. I 100% agree with you on that. I 100%, not because of that was just my 80s and then came up in the 90s. I think if I was not around out in comparison to other generations, just the 90s were just, you were born in the 80s and you grew up in the 90s. I just think those generations just made some different type of people. Not everybody, because a lot of people in the 80s got caught. They got caught one way or another. But, you know, the strong people that didn't let that Reaganomics get to them, you know, that didn't let Reaganomics get to them, you're a different type of individual. You dig what I'm saying? Reaganomics was something else. Looking like Reaganomics messed a lot of people up, bro. A lot of people. Well, you know what's funny about the 80s? And I hear people complain. They complain about the interest rates. Go look at the interest rates in the 80s. They were in the teens, 15, 16, 17%. the interest rates in the 80s during the Reagan era were triple what they are now. Mm-hmm. Homes were a lot cheaper, though. So in some cases, you might have been paying 15, 16%, but that $200,000 home now was 30, 40,000 then. So, you know. Yep. These kids these days have no patience. Don't know how to be bored. No problem solving skills. As parents, we have to be involved and show these skills they don't get in school. Yeah, so that's something else that we were talking about in the Discord. Like education doesn't stop at school. Like you still have to educate at home, right? And like what I was saying earlier, just parents aren't doing that. Whatever the kids get in school, that's all they get. So if they don't get nothing in school, then they ain't get nothing. Back in the day, a parent would test kids when they came home to see if what they were learning in school. Parents are that, what'd you learn in school today? Oh, we learned subtraction. And they would put problems together. You would see parents, I know my mom was an educator, so, you know, it was just something she was going to do anyway. Because of her profession, but you would see parents with flashcards. You would go to a peer's home or another child's home and you would see flashcards laying around. You don't see that shit no more. You know, you would see a person randomly ask, man, what's 5 plus 5? What's 5 times 5? These were things we tested other kids' abilities when we were challenging them. Now you got kids just doing goofy shit. It's like, man, it's a different era. And that's why when I was thinking about the just this increase of nonverbal autistic children, because I never heard of nonverbal autism until like when it recently is past maybe 4, 5, 6 years, because I've seen more children have it, because I've never seen kids that just had this. So this was like, this is kind of still like new, and just me sitting, just wondering why and thinking and just going back and noticing that the kids that have it, they are good at these games and stuff like that. But then it's time because you stick this in front of my thing. I think that's the reason why. I think they lacked imagination. They weren't playing. They weren't verbal. Just having an imagination and having maybe like a imaginary friend, or just like I was saying when I was a kid, I would sit on the floor of my wrestling ring and recreate these matches, and I'm talking them out based on what I heard the commentators say. I'm being verbal. I'm pronouncing words. It's educational. It's helping with my speech. All this is very important. There was no gadget that was shoved in front of me where I'm just sitting there all day doing this and just not saying shit and just playing this fucking game and losing and then playing it again and losing. And I'm just in a room just playing it, and I'm not talking to anybody because mom and dad are engaged in scrolling on social media, and as long as I'm quiet, they not bothering me because they don't want to be bothered anyway because they busy on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm just playing this game, Angry Birds, Subway Surfers all day, and just not saying shit. And then nobody realizes it. I remember one person who I ain't gonna say how because it's people that watch me that being a creator in a big city, you gonna know people that know you. So as somebody that knows this person that told me they ran into me years prior to me creating content. So I ain't gonna go into details of who this person is because then they'll know. But I remember, being around this person. I remember telling them, man, because I remember when the kid was born and over the years, and I'm just like, man, why that kid ain't talking? And I mentioned it to the person, and they got offended. Maybe be autistic. I didn't think nonverbal. I didn't know it was something considered nonverbal. I just saw some signs of autism. And it's just based on my experience having a parent that's an educator and things like that, just overhearing things, how to assess things. And I mentioned it. I was leery about mentioning it. I finally mentioned it. That person got offended, but they did go and get evaluation. And I was right. And then that person got mad at me further because they said, well, why didn't you say nothing sooner? Well, I was hesitant because I wasn't sure. That's why over a period of time, now that the kid is 4 and still not talking, now I've felt more I don't even say courage, man, because, man, in our culture, man, it's like you could see something, but in our culture, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't say nothing about don't tell me nothing about my child. My child is fine. My child is fine. Like, you can't tell these chicks nothing nowadays, bro. You can't tell them nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but when as that other year came, I'm like, 4? You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, it's saying. So I said it. I was right. Now you upset because I didn't say it early. Why you said you knew it? You had some type of inclination. You should have said something sooner. I'm like, I said something now. But I just think, man, it's parents are just raising their kids different, man. And because of this culture and just the way parents are raising their kids, these kids just don't have an imagination no more. And I just think that's a big part of this issue, man. All of this shit, even with like the shit that I saw that happened here last week. Like those kids, man, you can tell how they was raised, man. Ain't no kid, I don't care how baby you is. I don't care how baby you is. Like, ain't no way in the world. Like I grew up around baby kids. My cousins is baby kids growing up. You know what I'm saying? We was out the projects, but they was still in Henry Horner. I remember because my mom worked summer school, she used to put me and my brother in this summer camp. I forgot what it's called. It started with an N. And at this college here, Malcolm X College, and my cousin stayed in Henry Horner, so which is right down the street, around the corner from Malcolm X College, which is right by the United Center. It used to be the Chicago Stadium during that time period. And it was a summer program, so it was from 8 to 12. And my mom was teaching summer school, so we would walk over and stay over there until she picked us up. Like, my cousins was baby kids. They was bad as hell. But I tell you this, they wouldn't dare. Me, my brother, my cousins, none of us would dare do what them kids did to that lady. Talk crazy to her, run up on her, swing on her. To me, everything, they was bad as hell, but that shit started at home. And then even the way you see these parents responding to it, arguing back with people in Facebook comments, putting their kids on the front line with fake ass apologies, you making it worse for the kid. because they don't feel genuine about it. That's why the girl, it was fake, and she was smiling and laughing at the beginning and looking to the side, waiting for them to feed her what to say, because it wasn't genuine, because she don't really understand what she did wrong. Now you forcing her to apologize, some manufactured shit, but she really don't understand because, man, she ain't being taught at the crib. And then they see how you reacting and responding to people in the chat. Why go live? You better off just saying nothing and trying to reach out to the parent privately. Why stick a kid on the internet when people are already saying that they own that with these kids? They're in the chat saying, listen, we own that with these kids. We looking for them. The one parent said, look, put her kid on the camera and said, look, you know the whole Chicago looking for you. People in the chat said, man, we looking for you too. They own that with them. People was bringing their kids up to the school to get out on them kids. This is the culture. This is what it is right now. This shit would have never happened 20, 30 years ago. Bad or not, bro. Man, adults is off. If you weren't in the game, then everybody else that's not in the game is off limits. Period. Wasn't no kid, no teenager walking up swinging on no adult. An adult that clearly has some type of ailment, the way she's walking. Something's wrong, which makes it even worse. It's the parents. So this nonverbal autistic stuff, the way these kids act, this shit all started at home. This is the parents. It's all parents. Bad or not, my brother's bad as hell. He would never did no goofy shit like that. Never. So it's all parents. Kids ain't being raised. That's why they can't speak. That's why they're not bright. That's why they can't talk. This is why they don't know how to behave in public. It's all the parents' fault. So I just don't, Chicago is the gift that keeps on giving as a content creator perspective. Like if I really wanted to, that's why I'm saying you can't say nothing about me because I live in Chicago. Like every week is something viral here. And like people come here just to run content. I'm looking at all these shit. Last week it was this chick. Now Kanika Jenkins' mama back up here. Fucking viral again. Like look, before, now it's Kanika Jenkins' mama again. Last week it was the lady with this. You got the ice shit. You had Tiffany Henyard. Man, Chicago's the gift. If I really wanted to run up a bag in content, like all I gotta do is walk outside and go down the street and around the corner. It's just so much content here. But I just don't do it because if I really say what I don't want to say to some of these people, they're gonna be mad at Big Mark. That's why I just say I ain't something really gotta move me for me to just speak on the shit. That shit last week it moved me, but the shit that's going on right now, Kanika Jenkins' mom back crashing out. Now this shit viral. Shit crazy. A teacher that got arrested for whipping her son is crazy. People thinking she wrong for beating him. Kids these days. Yeah, I saw that. I don't think she was wrong. Yeah, we had, me and my homies, we had that conversation. That wasn't wrong. Shit, we got beat worse. Like that wasn't shit. But that goes back to raising too. And I'm gonna kick it with you. The kid that videotaped that, they don't fear their parent. Man, ain't no motherfucking way. What was we taught? Well, I don't know what y'all was taught. Man, what go on in this house, stay in this house. That's what I was taught. What goes on in this house stays in this house. So the kid that was recording it, I guess that was her other son or daughter, was Bodine. They need their ass whooped. You record your mom discipline your sibling and then you post it on the internet, man. Man, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Period. I don't know how these people is being raised, and this is why I say a lot of these people out here soft, and this is why when they come up here and it don't make me no never mind because I'm cut different. I was raised different. I'm from a different place. We was raised different. There ain't no motherfucking way in the world I'm going to get an ass whooping and then go to school and tell the teacher because I'm more scared of what's going to come. My mom always said, man, you go tell these motherfuckers, you got your ass whooped, and then they take you and they put you in a foster home, it's gonna be way worse than this. Man, that shit resonated with me. My grandma was worse than my mom. And my grandma, we didn't even do shit. When my grandma used to watch us and we'd be over there because mama was working, we'd walk to the store. My grandma lived in a senior citizen building on Washington, right off Pulaski. That building's still there. They renovated it. And like literally Madison and Pulaski, for all the Chicago people that know, it's like literally across the alley. It's a senior citizen building right there off of Washington, Pulaski. Used to be an Amico right there. We'd cut through that alley and go over there to this little corner store right across the street from that White Castles. Man, we'd leave. We didn't do nothing. As soon as we go outside, grandma, go get a swanch. Not a switch, a swanch. She was from down south. Get a swanch. Man, she made us go pick a switch just in case we got out of line. She walking down, cutting through the alley, walking down the street with a switch. We ain't even did nothing. We just the fear of picking our own switch, knowing that if we do anything, she gonna cut us up. Get a swanch. Like, man, like y'all niggas is, that's why I be like, you sure you mean y'all niggas is soft to me, bro. Y'all niggas never got y'all ass whooped. Y'all niggas never got the shit beat out of y'all. We got hit with goddamn extension cords, all type of shit, man. So the kid that videotaped it, that kid was bogus. I'm gonna go on in this house, stay in this house. And if you think that's on you. What goes on in this house stays in this house. That's how we was raised. So the other kid was bogus. I don't think the mom did nothing. Shit, you got an ass whooping. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. Did she get her money? She been got that money. Let me see. So it is what it is, man. That kid that videotaped it, man, they was, I don't know. Jig said the extension cord was crucial. Yeah, but back then, shit, extension cord was just what it was. See, a lot of people probably don't even know what an extension cord is because people don't have house phones no more. Extension cord, but y'all they don't know what's an extension cord? That long phone cord. So back in the day when you had a house phone, the extension cord, you go get it from like the dollar store so you can walk through the whole house with the phone. When you go to like AT&T or whatever and get a regular phone back in the day, it had that short cord. Because you had like the rotary phone. What's a rotary phone? You had a rotary phone. So you had phones all over the house. You would probably have a phone in the bedroom. You have a phone in like the living room. Then in the kitchen, everybody had the wall phone that was on the wall mount phone. And then it might be a rotary phone somewhere in the house. But whatever that main phone was, you'll want to walk through the house. This is like before cordless phones. So you get that long extension cord. So you can walk through the house with it. And then, man, like if you had a parent from down south, like a lot of us did, because these was the first generation, like our parents was first generations that came from the South, man, shit, we was getting fucked up. All my uncles, like if I was over my uncle's house, man, like one of my uncles, like, man, my cousins, like my older cousin, man, they was doing all, man, shit, bro. That shit was different back then, boy. Nigga, you could get whooped by your teacher and your neighbor back then. If you was getting out of line and you was outside, you could get your ass whooped by your neighbor, and then they'd tell your parent about it, and it'd be okay. Your teacher, all type of shit. It's different now. So they say he thought it was Toby. Yeah, it's different now. All right, man, call in. Anybody gonna call in? I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Let me see. Make sure I got all these. So you got whatever your mom had close? Yeah. I remember one time, I think my OG threw a shoe or something, or hit me with a shoe. I forget, it was something crazy. I remember one time where I was getting my ass tore up, man. I ran in the room and crawled under the bed. I just remember my mom lifting the bed and moving, and I was rolling under the bed. Whenever she lifted the bed and set it down, I would just keep rolling. Come from under that bed. I was just rolling. I was rolling like a motherfucker. She steady moving the bed. I'm steady rolling. Man, y'all. Boy, please, man. Man, please. They said I remember phone dishes. I remember too. This is before everybody had a phone and they didn't need all these extra phone numbers. Phone numbers was just you had an area code, but you didn't have to input the area code because like for Chicago, the area code was 312. Who the fuck is Randall Boggs? See, it's always one. Let me go look this nigga up, man. It's always some nigga I ain't never seen before that come in and say, who the fuck is this nigga? All right, let's get rid of this guy. Get rid of him. He a troll. He a troll. Get rid of him. Don't worry about it. I got him. Oh, there you have it. See how quick that was? See how quick I got rid of him? Troll. All right. Man, you can't dial ish without area code now. Yeah, just everybody got a number now. So, what else? See. Do it. Smooth that. All right. All right. Nobody gonna call in. All right, guys. That's it for today, man. If I don't catch y'all before, I think I got another show scheduled for tonight, a reaction show. I think for later on tonight. So if I nothing pop up, then I'm gonna come back and do that. You said Ella, I don't even know the number. What, you don't know the number to call in, or you saying you don't know your number? You talking about the call in number? Say your dad was famous for saying, if you want, you won't have a home after I get out of jail. Yeah, so I think I got another show I'm gonna do later on if don't nothing else pop up. But other than that, man, if I don't see y'all before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I think I'm gonna do one tomorrow, show tomorrow. Other than that, man, I'm out. Peace.